Hello everyone, good day. This is Andrew and we have a very special interview we're going to be conducting today. This is Kim. She is one of the volunteers with the community board that's been put together for the 53 Families, 53 Stories project. Kim, why don't you introduce us to the project and what the story is here?
So, I was one of the first people that kind of spoke out openly about it, like put a name to a face into what was going on in this area after hearing what happened at the meeting. And a lot of people started reaching out. We had a meeting at the church and we started a board. The board is actually called Protect Essex Home Committee. So we started that board kind of to bring a safe space for the 53 families so that they can, we can help them throughout this process and figure out how we can save their homes essentially and not put out 53 families.
Okay, so for the people in the audience who don't know what is happening, can you kind of touch on this nonprofit and their decision to sell?
So Essex Non-Profit slipped a mailbox or a letter into our mailboxes about a week, less a day actually from a week from when they were holding this meeting.
Yeah, this is back in April 2026.
Yeah, for April 13th. They held a meeting, and essentially that meeting left the community kind of scattered because they said that they were eliminating 53 homes in order to preserve housing.
So essentially, almost half of the nonprofit homes in the Essex community here are going to be, the tenants are going to be evicted and the homes will be sold. And their reasoning is so they could generate funds in order to fix the remaining homes and continue on their operations,
Yep.
right?
Yes, that's what we're told, yes. But however, there's just been some things that aren't, like the communication across the board has not really been consistent for everybody. There's certain people getting some letters, other people's are not getting letters. But we were given letters that said they were selling these homes and they were going to serve us with N12s. So that left a lot of people in fear, obviously. And I mean, we're still living in fear because, you know, one minute they say they're going to do this and then the next minute they're doing something else, and it's just there's no consistency. There's definitely no transparency, no communication. So yeah.
Has there been anybody from either from Essex Nonprofit or the town councilors or their administrative people, has there been anybody in a position of power that has kind of reached out to your volunteer board or the people that are affected to kind of help them with this displacement?
Nobody has offered to help with displacement. We had reached out, we had people reaching out, but it wasn't necessarily in respect to the displacement and keeping us placed where we are. Essentially, it felt like they were, well, when we reached out to Legal Aid and the Law Association of Windsor, what we thought we were doing is helping people get what they needed to remain in their homes. And I mean, there's obviously different situations for each different home. However, largely it seemed that they were just more interested in moving the people out of their homes and getting them rehomed outside of the community rather than keep them housed in the community or finding a way to fight what was happening to us.
Yeah. So what you're saying is either the board or the individual people applied to legal aid to get a lawyer of some sort?
We reached out. The board has not reached out to us. Essex Nonprofit has essentially not said anything other than in person, or they have sent out notices. However, again, some people are getting certain notices. Other people are, like, as a 121 that they own, we're not all getting the same communication. The 53 are certainly not getting the same communication, and first and second round aren't getting the same communication, and it just leaves a lot of room for questioning, like, what is really happening here, because it doesn't seem that they want to keep us here. It seems that, like, and as far, like, I believe it's their responsibility to help people find, not like us reaching out to legal aid and things like that. It's up to Essex Nonprofit to help us.
But there's been no help and no support.
No, they have what they call lotteries for the first round families. These lotteries, though, there's no transparency in the lottery. We don't even know what's happening with that. We don't know if it's names being pulled out of a hat. We don't know.
Or people are being chosen.
Or people are selectively being chosen.
Right.
And, we're happy that people are being rehoused in the community. However, there's no transparency, again, with, like, how that's happening, how decisions are being made.
So originally it's 53 homes, 53 families that are to be displaced.
Yes.
And you're saying that they sent some social workers or some other
we
forms
reached
of help.
out
Okay.
to legal aid ourselves. However, it almost feels like, it feels scripted, like we were trying to streamline it rather, so that we could help these people, because everybody didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Some people know, to go to a landlord-tenant board, and others don't. And some people are afraid.
Yeah, and so these are all low-income people, whether they're seniors or single families or people with disabilities. They don't always have all of that information.
Yeah. Well, yes, there's a lot of us. And the other, I think, misconception that we have about Essex Nonprofit is that we're not all on a fixed income. Like, we're not all paying geared to income is what I meant. Sorry. Some of us are, because we are, on ODSP, CPP, there's veterans, there's elderly, all those things, but there's also people that work 9-to-5 jobs that are paying market rent.
Mm-hmm.
There's single parents that are paying market rent and have been conditioned over time to be afraid to ask for the things, because one, they know that it's not going to get done, or it's going to get rejected, and now they're afraid to ask for things even more so, because they're afraid that means they're not going to have a place to live.
Right.
So
you're kind of touching on the fact that Essex Non-Profit Homes promised repairs to all the homes and stuff over the years, but you're saying that, like, people kind of got into the habit of not even putting in work orders or asking for help because they would be rejected, or the work wouldn't get done.
Yes. Even I know, like, it was, for myself, there were times where it was difficult to get work orders done. But I also know of other people that have, like, had the same thing, and then when grants were granted, so I was initially told, actually, that my house was supposed to be one of the houses that they were fixing with that grant money. And it was not. But there was other houses that were chosen. But even those repairs, I've seen some of what that work even looks like, and it's not livable, like in a sense, like it doesn't seem like it's, you know, a licensed, insured, bonded company or something, because if they were, I don't think they would put in, you know, light switches and upside down things, simple things like
Right.
that can be very dangerous. So when they were doing the work, there's even questions as if it was even up to code.
Right. Do you feel like their efforts to repair the homes was kind of like their commitment to do it, or you think it was more of like lip service over the past couple years? They see that they want to sell some of these homes, and so they're kind of putting on these quick fixes to kind of make it look like we're putting in an effort.
That's exactly what I feel like. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I that is how I feel, because it doesn't appear that we can even get communication from these people. Letters have been sent out to board members with no response, and so it's just kind of like, unless something is put out online that they know that they have to address,
Right.
we won't receive a letter in the mail. There's no
Right.
proactivity with them coming to us and saying, this is what's going to happen. Like, be a little less frightened about, you know, what's going on. This is what we really want to do. You can't walk into a room full of people and say, hey, we're going to take 53 of your families and put them on the street.
Yeah, okay, so back to that where it's kind of like they took everybody into a meeting at the arena and kind of from that point put the fear in them,
Yep.
right? It was a very fear-inducing meeting, and then they came out with a letter and induced even more fear. And then you're saying that maybe some social workers were used to help transition people. Of the 53 homes that were designated to be sold or people displaced, how many do you think left on their own accord or were so frustrated with the process that they just kind of are quitting and moved out?
There, I would say, is at least probably 4 families, and there might be more that we don't know about,
Yeah.
because, you know, some people have spoken and some people haven't. And again, because ones that have been placed here, sometimes they're here for reasons that, you know, they aren't able to come out and
Yeah, and speak about it.
speak about it because they live in fear. So, yeah, and it's hard also when you think that you're just going to lose your home. You know, whether if you speak up, are you going to lose your home? If you ask for something, are you going to lose your home? Are you like, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to buck the
Yeah.
or rock the boat too hard because maybe you're next on the list or
Right.
something like that. There are some homes available for sale now. Can you touch on that? Like if there's been any progress on selling them, or you think maybe buyers are wary because of the legal situation, or what's this look like?
I would hope buyers are wary because of the legal situation and because of the conditions of these homes. From my understanding is that they are, well, from the homes where people have moved out of fear, or stress of not having somewhere to be, or being afraid that, you know, there's not going to be a place for them, or where are they going to be. And not all of them are in better situations. Some of them are in worse conditions. So, but those, with those homes, they've done repairs since they've left. So the money they didn't have to help people maintain these homes when they were in them, somehow this money is coming from somewhere, and now they're fixing them.
They're fixing the vacated homes
Yes.
so that they can sell them.
Yes.
But they're not fixing homes that people are in.
Right.
Wow. Well, and so they have some for sale, but they're not selling because of
There's
perhaps
probably
we
various
don't know.
reasons.
Yeah, we don't know the reasons.
But there's also, we were told that only one house was going up at a time,
Oh, really?
and now there's 2 up. And initially it was told that Only after the sale of the first house would people be allowed to potentially buy out the homes, is my understanding. And then from there, since these ones are not selling, now all of a sudden the floodgates have opened for anybody to buy their home in the first round, I believe. I'm not sure about the second round, because they just, you know.
So this video, we don't know who this video is going to reach, but maybe, do you want to maybe speak to the 50 or so, 49 or so families that are in this situation, and maybe offer them some kind of words of advice, or how the board is helping to work for them?
Come out to meetings. That is the best thing you can do. We can give you more information at those meetings that would best help you. We have a better understanding now than we initially did of what was going on. We're still trying to get through other things. However, there's some important information that I think that we could share with them with respect to their rights and things like that. So we just would really like them to come out and know that there is support. We are trying very hard to keep people in their homes, and yeah, just keep an eye out for another Protect Essex Home Committee, because we're working hard to try to help the families be heard. We want to give them a voice. We want
And we don't want people to be homeless. We want to be able to get them rehomed, or stay in your home, or however that looks.
and be able to stay in the same community
Yeah.
that their children have, their children, their families have grown in, because I think that's a huge thing that's kind of being missed in that as well, is that this displacement is spreading 159 people potentially,
Right.
just scattering them. Where, some people are being rerouted to Windsor.
Windsor and beyond, I would imagine. Wherever there's
Well,
vacancies
mostly,
in the system.
yeah, but mostly it's Windsor, which is there's not even enough housing in Windsor for Windsor, so I'm not really sure why that's happening either.
Yeah.
So
Now, you've kind of reached out to me because you saw my videos from
Yes.
ELK and
Yep.
stuff. How can I help you or this cause to protect Essex Homes? Do you have anything you need from me?
we need you to help us bring awareness, help us, connect the dots and find out what's going on, what's going on, because I feel like there's something else that's truly happening here
Right.
that we're not being given a full picture of. But we just we want the community to feel supported as a whole, regardless of whether you're best friends with your neighbor or not. Everybody is here to help keep people where they are. Displacement is so damaging to people, their
Right.
families, their mental health. They're if we're
Well,
not.
some of the 53 families, they've been here for almost 30 years, or maybe longer, some of them. This
Yep.
is the only home they've known.
Yeah.
You have people in their retirement years that don't really have resources anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
And that's very traumatizing.
It is extremely traumatizing, especially when you've already been through trauma, which some of the
Right.
residents have.
Right.
So to re-traumatize just really feels like a huge letdown as a whole, when we could have all have known about this earlier and perhaps brought in some community awareness even just on our own as the 121 homes to save the people's homes in our community and see it grow in a way that Essex wants to see it grow. The community residents want to see it grow, not, just not taking care of something until it falls apart.
Right. Well, this interview has been very eye-opening. Thank you very much for coming down to chat with me.
Thank you.
And we can be in touch. You can get a hold of me any time of day,
Thank
whatever
you.
you need. We'll wrap it up here, but I think there's going to be more on this story to come. Thank you.
Thank you.